In this video, you will learn about the zero product property, and you will see why factoring is useful. Don't forget to take notes as you watch this video. Before we learn anything new, pause the video and try to solve these 4 equations. Don't worry if you can't solve them all, but you should at least be able to solve 2 of them. If you haven't paused it yet, you need to do that now. Alright, so the first one is linear, so you should have been able to solve that no problem. You need to distribute the 3, and then solve the equation like normal, so we get x equals 1. The second equation is a quadratic equation, but we have 4x squared equals 100, and therefore x squared equals 25, and we get x equals 5 because we take the square root of both sides. However, these 2 equations at the bottom, you don't know how to solve yet. This one, and that's where factoring will come in. We're going to be spending days on solving equations, so this is just a brief intro to why we're factoring, so that in a few days from now, when you become factoring experts, you know why you're doing this in the first place, and you're able to solve the equations. So looking at equation number 3, I have x squared plus x equals 0. We've been pulling out the greatest common factor for a few days now, so I could rewrite this as x times x plus 1 for my left side, and I still have equals 0. We know that anything times 0 equals 0. So for example, as a side note, if I had 3x equals 0, then x has to be 0, because one of these factors has to equal 0. If I had 3xy, then either my x or my y would have to equal 0. So in the case above, where we have a product of x and x plus 1 equals 0, we know that either x has to equal 0 or x plus 1 equals 0. In other words, we have these 2 cases, x equals 0 or x plus 1 equals 0. That means our solutions are x equals 0 and x equals negative 1. We'll be doing a lot more of this, but I wanted to show you why we're factoring in the first place, because what will happen is we will take any equation, set it equal to 0, and then we'll find the solutions to that equation. Let's look at equation number 4. So equation number 4 is equivalent to 2 binomials that multiply together. It's actually the same thing as x plus 1 times x minus 3. What we'll be doing tomorrow in class is figuring out how we get from this x squared minus 2x minus 3 to x plus 1 and x minus 3. What we've been doing is taking this 2 binomials, the product of them, and finding the polynomial. This form right here is called the factored form, because we've written our polynomial as a product of multiple factors. That's why whenever I say factor the polynomial, it has to be written as multiple factors being multiplied together. In this case, each factor is a binomial. Let's look at another example. If you were given x squared plus 11x equals negative 28, in order to use the zero product property, you would need to move the 28 to the other side. So we have x squared plus 11x plus 28 equals 0. Now, I'm going to do a step in here, that's what we're going to be learning tomorrow, and rewrite this as x plus 4 times x plus 7 equals 0. But now using our new zero product property, we know that we'll have 2 solutions. We will have x plus 4 equals 0 and x plus 7 equals 0, because either this binomial has to equal 0 or this binomial has to equal 0 in order for the product of both of those to be 0. It may seem like we're going a little out of order, but if you're factoring and don't know why you're factoring, then you're probably going to be asking questions. So this is showing you how we're going to be solving it. Even though you don't know how to do this in-between step right here, you can still take a product and find the solutions. In this case, we have the 2 binomials, so we have x equals negative 4 and x equals negative 7. Those are our two solutions, and we could check them by substituting in to our original equation, or into our product of two binomials. I hope this video gave you a quick introduction to why we're factoring into this form in the first place, instead of leaving our polynomials as something like x squared minus 2x plus 7. Please try to find the solutions for these 5 problems, and we'll go over them tomorrow in class, and then we'll learn how to factor into this form in the first place. If you're still confused, don't worry about it, because we'll be working on this for days.